Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
News related to disinvestment. The disinvestment will fall shortage of 60% to the estimated target of this year's disinvestment estimate. And why it is so is that because of some political reason and also because of lagging of the process in other disinvestment areas. Right now the economists or the officials from the government side are expecting that there will be a shortage of disinvestment proceeds that government will be earning this year in compared to the disinvestment estimate that was made during budget for the financial year 24. Okay, how the news is related to UPSC civil service exam is that the news is related to UPSC General Studies Paper 3 Economic Development under a subtopic called Indian Economy Issues Relating to Planning and Mobilization of Resource, Growth, Development and Employment. Okay, we have seen about disinvestment. What does this disinvestment is about and what does it mean? Disinvestment means sale of certain percentage of stakes in the particular industry or organization by the government to the other organization. More frequently, private organization is called as disinvestment. There are three types of disinvestment. The one is minority disinvestment, second is majority disinvestment, and third is privatization. This minority disinvestment is government will be reducing only certain small percentage of its stake in the central public sector undertaking. That percentage, that small percentage will be less than the 50% only, and so, as a result of which government will be having entire management control authority. Second is in the case of majority disinvestment, government will be holding or government will be reducing its stake in this in the particular organization by more than 50%, as a result of which government's management control as well as the stakes will get reduced. And third is outright privatization, where government will be selling 100% stake in the central public sector undertaking to the private sector, so that government will be losing its all the stake as well as the management control in relation to the central public sector undertaking. Okay, this is what the disinvestment is related to. Okay, how the disinvestment funds will be utilized in India? Let's discuss about the National Investment Fund, which was established in 2005, act as a channel where the fund which was brought through disinvestment will get channelized. And the National Investment Fund during initial period of its time as a corpus fund, and this corpus fund will be permanent, and it will be managed by, it was managed by three insurance companies like SBI, LIC and UTI. These insurance companies were managing the corpus of the National Investment Fund, and the return which they have been getting from the fund will be utilized for social sector activities as well as for infra activities. So out of 100 rupees, out of the 100 rupees which they have been earning from the corpus, means 75% will be utilized for social sector purpose and 25% will be used for the capital expenditure or infrastructure development purpose. But during 2008 or until 2013 period, there was some difficulty in the economic activity and also the in the global economy, as a result of which government has exempted this kind of criteria for spending the National Investment Fund during this period. But during 2013, National Investment Fund was remodified to to make it in tune with disinvestment policy of Government of India. So under it, the National Investment Fund will be doing certain functions, like it will be subscribing to shares issued by central public sector undertaking, so that since National Investment Fund is the government fund, it is the fund owned by government. So if it is investing in the share issued by central public sector undertaking, means that central public sector undertaking will again come under the government control only. So and the reason for subscribing to the share is so to ensure that 51% stake in the organization, so that government management control will be ensured. Second is preferential allotment of shares of central public sector undertaking to be promoted according to the SEBI guidelines. And then these funds can be used for recapitalization for the banks as well as insurance companies. And then the investment, and also the funds could be utilized for the investment by government in RRBs, IIFL, NABARD as well as Exim Bank. And also the equity, the fund could be used for the equity infusion in the metro projects. And then investment in Bharat Nahikia Vidyut Nigam Limited and Uranium Corporation of India Limited, Indian, and also in the Indian Railway capital expenditure. So these are all the areas where the national investment funds could be invested after 2013. And who is the authority that controls the disinvestment procedure is the DIPAM, which stands for Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. It is the authority under Ministry of Finance, which is Ministry of Finance, and it will be the controlling authority of disinvestment process in India. It is so. This is what the news related to disinvestment and the types of disinvestment and the fund which is managing the disinvestment in India is about. Okay, let's discuss about what does this disinvestment has. Has means advantages. It reduces the fiscal burden of Government of India because of the off-taking of government control in certain sectors or certain public sector undertakings where the government is making laws and the government is off-taking a certain percentage of stake out of it, means government will be surely saving a certain amount which will be utilized for reducing its fiscal deficit. Second is because of introduction of private sectors in the central public sector organization, there will be introduction of new management techniques and technology, as a result of which the efficiency of the organization will be enhanced. Second is the fund that has been bought from the disinvestment could be utilized for other social welfare schemes and then capital expenditure schemes. Fourth is increase in the competitiveness. So by infusing the private sector's brain into the central public sector organization, means its efficiency will be increased, and as a result of which the competitiveness of that loss making organization will also get enhanced. There will be better service to the consumer because of the efficiency of the organization. The service that is delivered to the consumer will also get enhanced, so that consumer will get a better satisfaction, and then because of it there will be an increase in employment, and then it will lead into a path of profitability. So these are all the advantages of the disinvestment. And what are all the concerns related to disinvestment is that there is a risk of valuation. Right now there is no proper standards in relation to valuation of a particular central public sector undertakings disinvestment process. Second is because of complex labor laws, the disinvestment process has been slowed down because the laws provide certain backup or safeguard for the labors in India, as a result of which the outright offtake or outright sale of the central public sector undertaking to the private sector means there will be changes in labor management. So because of this kind of complex labor law, the disinvestment proceed has been slowed down. And then there will be loss of equity. How it is? That is, if whenever the private sector is supplying goods as well as service to the consumer, means it will be supplying only for the profit, and those who are having money only will able to get the products or service from that particular organization. But in the case of government, it will supply goods and service in relation to the needs of the people, and also to ensure that the equity is achieved while delivering the goods and service process, which will be done by the government. But it is not the case with the private sector organization. So these are all the disadvantages in relation to disinvestment. So what we needed to study further is, we should know about what is strategic as well as non-strategic sector in public sector undertakings. Second is, we should know about merger. Third is, we should know about asset monetization is about. What is asset monetization, and what is the difference between asset monetization as well as disinvestment in India. And then fourth is, we should know about what are all the other function of DIPAM, that is Department of Infrastructure Public Asset Management, other than disinvestment procedure. So these are all the other things which we needed to be aware of. Okay, let's discuss about the service previous year prelims question. Why is Government of India disinvesting its equity? The central public sector enterprise is the enterprise. The first statement is the government intends to use revenue earned from disinvestment mainly to pay back the external debt. The statement is wrong. As I said, the government will be utilizing the fund which it has got from the disinvestment proceed according to the regulation of national investment fund, which we have discussed in the previous slide. Second is, the government no longer intends to retain the management control of the central public sector undertaking. This is also wrong. This is the extreme statement. It is not the intention of the governments. So answer is option D, neither one nor two. Okay, this is what the news related to the disinvestment as well as the types of disinvestment and national investment fund, and what are all the disadvantages of the disinvestment, and what are all the other areas which we needed to study apart from the disinvestment is about, and the previous year prelims question related to it.